Well, hello everybody. Happy Monday. It's September the 8th, and I'm back from my family reunion, and yep, I am. I'm worn out. Um, I had a really, really good time with my dad and all my family up there. Um, and yeah, I don't even know where to start. Let's just do 5 things I have taken from this family reunion. The first thing I have taken from this family reunion is the fact that I get to spend really good quality one-on-one private time with my dad for 8 hours up there and 8 hours back home when we come home. The second thing that I take from the family reunion is, and I'm going to try not to cry, but I can't promise. I just can't promise. But the second thing I take from the family reunion this year is that I get to help my beautiful Aunt Edna out so she doesn't have to do much. She's 85 years young, and any time that I get to spend with her and her family is just, I absolutely love. And I'm going to do some shout outs because I know I have a lot of my family that watches my videos. So for the ones of you who are my subscribers and who are not family, I apologize for calling out names that you all have no clue who these people are, but they're absolutely precious to me. And that is, really try not to cry here. Judy. Here we go. Judy, Patsy, Austin, Austin's wife Margaret, and Terry. All of you are so precious to me, and right now my cousin Terry, he is in the hospital recovering from surgery. He had a third of his stomach removed on Saturday, which was the main day of our reunion. And his mom, my Aunt Edna, and his siblings that I had mentioned, save for Margaret, who is his brother's wife, that they were all so worried about him. Now, you all know I went up to the reunion to stay with my Aunt Edna, with my dad and I, on Tuesday, this past Tuesday. And we stayed until Sunday. Well, Tuesday and Wednesday night we stayed with my Aunt Edna. Thursday night my dad and I went to my Uncle Werner's, which is their brother, his house, and spent the night. And then we all went to the park on Friday, and stayed at the park Friday and Saturday. And then Dad and I came back. We all came back home Sunday, but Dad and I left around 8:30ish yesterday morning to come home, and I'm just really worn out. But the second thing, like I said, was spending time with my Aunt Edna. I don't even know where my counting is off because I just went off and left in outer space, and I just spaced out. Okay. And anyways, yeah, getting to spend time with my Aunt Edna and her kids, which are not kids anymore. They're well, beautiful adults, every one of them, was just wonderful. But my Aunt Edna, bless her heart, she worried so much about her son Terry, who is in the hospital. He's recovering nicely, very slowly but nicely, so there is that. So please send some prayers up, please, for my cousin Terry, for his speedy recovery, and especially for my Aunt Edna, because she worries so very much. She's just a wonderful soul. The third thing I have taken from this reunion is the amount of faith and the love of Christ that my family have. it's just outstanding. And for the non-believers out there, you know, take with it what you will. I'm not going to apologize or say I'm sorry, but this is my family, and I believe what they believe, and I love them. The fourth thing I take from the reunion this year is the craziness that, is the quote production unquote of the whole entire thing. That is really starts the day of the reunion, on the Friday that it starts at the park, and it's an entire production for a whole year. You plan, you do what you have to do to get ready for the next year's reunion, and pray and hope to God that we all stay around and alive. And the fifth thing I take from this reunion is the blessings, and here's where I will probably cry. The blessings that I was given. The first one being the fact that, you all have to know, at this state park that we stay at, there's a women's dorm, a men's dorm, and I probably have told you all about this before, and if I have, I apologize, but for the newest subscribers, I'm explaining to you. There's a women's dorm and a men's dorm, and then there's the big house. We call it the big house, where we all congregate, we eat, there's a big kitchen there in the big house where we all make the meals, and then there's 4 bedrooms there, where we call it, the elders, which is the siblings of our grandparents, Grandma Allie and Grandpa Clark Blankenship. They get to stay. Us kids get to stay in the women's and men's dorm. So my Aunt Edna asked me Friday if I was going to sleep with her, room with her. And I had already made my bed at the women's dorm, and I felt so bad. Now you've got to understand, this is such a huge honor for anyone who is asked to stay at the big house. And I'm explain it like this. When you were little and you were made to sit at the kids' table, and you always wanted to sit at the big, the adult table for your meals, but you couldn't because your parents said, no, you're going to sit at the little kids' table. Well, that's, without sounding strange, kind of is how it is for us kids. But so when she asked me if I was going to sleep with her Friday night at the big house, I was so over the moon happy, but I had to decline because my bed was already made, and I felt so bad. But she said, you probably want to stay with the girls, don't you? Meaning her girls. And I agreed. And then Saturday night, which is the last night we spend at the reunion at the park, or spend the night at the park on. Does that make sense to you? Anyways, she asked me again, and I had to decline again, and I felt so bad. I really felt badly. So if it's the Lord's will, Aunt Edna, if you watch this, Travis, if you watch this, or Judy, one of you two, please show this to your mom. I appreciate, or Travis to your grandma, or Judy to your mom when you see her, please. If it's the Lord's will, next year, and we're all together again next year, and you have no one to room with you, I would be more than happy to room with you, Aunt Edna. I love you bunches. Now, I told you I've had a lot of blessings. That was the first part of the blessings, is to get to stay at the big house, even though I didn't. I stayed in the women's dorm the whole weekend. The second thing is the fact that my Aunt Edna dubbed me her daughter. She loved my mom, but my parents were divorced for a good while after my mom had died, and or before my mama died, I should say. And she said, since your mommy's gone, I'm your mommy now, and you're my daughter. And guys, I have to tell you, it made me want to cry so bad. I had to suck in the tears, I'm telling you. And the third blessing that I had was, because you know, all know, and I'm sorry the camera's shaking, but you see why it's shaking? It's because she's scratching herself. Anyhow, the third and final blessing was the fact that I had the laying of the hands on Saturday, praying over me and my Aunt Nell, who is their sister. She's got some health issues, but you all know the cancer thing that I'm going through. And it was the laying of the hands and speaking of the tongues and praying over us both. And I got this beautiful prayer cloth that was anointed and blessed by the church and given to me, presented to me by my Aunt Edna, and my Aunt Nell got one as well. And it was just a beautiful experience. It was just very, very tiring because it was a whole week, but a very, very beautiful experience, and I wouldn't change it for the world. And that's what I take from the reunion. So I'm going to leave you with a picture, one of my favorite pictures of me and my Aunt Edna. Me kissing her cheek and her puckering up. So here you go. I love you guys, and until you see me next time, bye. Thanks for sticking around this long.